Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario. We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. And in tonight's Game Plan, we'll speak to the PLDT high-speed hitters who are on a roll in the 2022 PVL Invitational Semis. We'll also break down the latest updates from the ongoing Pba Philippine Cup Semi-Finals. And we'll take a look into the performance of the UP Fighting Maroons and the DLSU Green Archers in the FilOil EcoOil PreSeason Cup. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Two streak continues for the PLDT high-speed hitters in the 2022 PVL Invitational Conference. The team stays perfect with a 2-0 record in Week 1 of the semi-finals. Take a look at that. The high-speed hitters defeated the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers in straight sets, and they also upset the complete Signal HD Spikers in 4 sets yesterday. So what's keeping their connection stronger than ever? Well, let's find out from PLDT's Del Palomata and Jules Samonte. Good evening, girls. Thank you very much for stopping your travel time at the moment and having time with us here on the game. How are you two doing?
Hi, thank you for having us po.
Right, so good evening. Jules, I want to start off with you kasi this team right now is speaking, it feels like it's speaking at the right time. Siyempre, sa semis, undefeated so far against two very tough teams. Masasabi mo ba na you are indeed peaking at the right time, and where is this team gonna go from this point on?
Yeah, I do think so. Kasi from the start pa lang, when the team started, as in the start of the year, yung motto actually na sinabi ni Ate Rian, yung nag-motivate sa amin is to trust the process. Which is yun nga, we've been trusting the process, and I feel like we're being able to show naman what we've been working hard for. Tapos where the team is coming, I believe that the team will be working even harder to reach our goals.
And Del, I mean, maganda naman yung linalaro ng team nyo in the elimination round, pero parang next level dito sa semis. Ano yung ginawa niyong extra special? Baka may preparation kayong ginawa in this round of the conference?
I think for me, yung gelling din po talaga ng team and yung chemistry ng team very big factor po sa performance namin. Kasi now that we're closer, alam namin kung paano ma-motivate yung isa't isa, and kung down kami or nararattle kami, alam nila kung paano kami tulungan sa court, ganun po.
Sorry, Jules. Actually, we asked Del that question pero na-excite talaga tayong lahat dito. Pero,
sorry.
Okay lang yan.
Sorry.
Del, block mo
kasi
na lang
pag
siya sa
volleyball,
practice.
mind, diba? So,
Pero,
okay lang.
Del, that's actually a good point. That's actually a good point that si Jules brought up. And personally, I want to ask you, kasi here early on sa semi-finals ninyo, you're the top scorer of this team dito sa semis. How much more pressure do you feel? Or how more excited are you to show off what you can do dito sa semi-finals ng Invitational Conference?
First of all po kasi siyempre hindi ko naman po siguro magagawa lahat ng mga naiano ko sa laro, hindi dahil sa mga teammates ko, o hindi dahil sa mga tulong po nila para po may labas ko yung laro ko everyday.
And Del, no, grabe yung linalaro mo din ngayon for Signal. 19.16 attacks and 3 blocks total, and then a number 1 best scorer ka nga ng team in the semifinals. Ano yung motivation mo dito sa round na to ng PVL?
Siyempre po, motivation is yung family ko first of all. Siyempre, kahit nasa malayo sila, hindi sila nawawala ng oras na mag-support sa akin through kahit television. Yun po, yung one of my motivation. Siyempre naman po is yung mga taong walang sawang sumuporta sa akin through my career sa volleyball po. Then, siyempre po, yung mga supporters na rin po.
Jules, of course, we have to look forward now into your next game happening tomorrow, of course, against Creamline. Siyempre, we all know how tough Creamline could be and just how motivated they are to make sure na siyempre there's not going to be any hiccups in their quest for the title. How are you approaching that game knowing na may konting hot streak kayo ngayon?
Sorry. Um, Sorry, can you repeat the question?
No, I was just wondering about yung game nyo against Creamline kasi syempre we all know how tough they could be and you're in on little hot streak right now. Ganun importante na you're not too carried away and you make sure that you still get the business done against Creamline.
Yeah, kasi in training pa lang, everyone's been boosting each other's confidence. Very helpful din po talaga yung mga pep talks ni coach, mga pep talks ng teammates namin. I believe naman everyone's been training to get to the top and wala, I think yun nga, we know how hard we've been working and yun, we believe naman in each other. So that's what's been pushing us and that's our motivation.
Yeah, and Jules, we talked about the team and how you guys are really improving coming into this round. Pero personally, Jules, ikaw maganda rin yung nilalaro mo for your team. You know, your growth has been steady as well. Kamusta naman yung journey na yun ngayon na ang ganda ng nilalaro mo for your team?
Thank you. So, kasi yun nga, what I said, na parang sobrang helpful yung pagka-boost din, nakaka-boost din ng confidence yung pagka-pep talks ng not only just my teammates, not only just my coaches, but also my family, my friends. They're just there for me. And yun nga, in the off-season, I tried my best to also work out and do some things to improve on my skills. So yun po.
Del, one of the key words that has been said in the interviews from your teammates, from your coaches, is consistency and how to maintain that consistency dito sa semifinals para sa dito sa PBL Invitational. How do you maintain yung consistency ninyo knowing that the opponents are only going to get tougher at yung pressure is always going to be there?
Happiness ba?
Siguro po is, syempre hindi naman every laro maganda yung nilalaro namin. Siguro po is yung masaya lang, tsaka syempre, tiwala sa isa't isa.
Ladies, thank you very much for all the time that you've spent to take out right now. Alam ko, you're both on the road right now, traveling. Narinig ko yung background din nyo eh. Please stay safe, especially right now in wet weather, and hopefully we get to see each other in person very soon. Maraming salamat.
Thanks, Idols.
Thank you.
And after the break, we'll bring you the latest updates from Day 2 of the Pba Philippine Cup Semi-Finals. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. It's day 2 of the Pba Philippine Cup Semi-Finals and the Meralco Balls have tied their series against the San Miguel Beermen. The Meralco Balls beat the San Miguel Beermen 99-88. Actually, Meralco Balls having a great start, but San Miguel coming back in the second quarter. But Meralco Balls really controlling that ball game in the second half.
5 players for Meralco scored in double digits, including Raymar Jose, which was a big surprise to me personally.
I love it.
Of course, and we have someone here to talk about all
And
of
he
that.
knows a lot about what we're going to talk about. And joining us tonight to break down the latest in these two matchups is PBA champion, the one and only Coach Willie Wilson. Coach Willie, welcome back to the game. Just your general thoughts on the game earlier.
Well, you know, bouncing back from that Game 1 loss, I thought Meralco totally turned up the energy in this game. They made it a way more physical game than it was in the first game, as evidenced by the shooting percentage of SMB. They shot in the 50s in the first game. Into this game, now they shot in the 30s. That's a big difference, and I think the difference was because of Meralco's energy.
You know, when I look at this team, they led by as much as 17 points. And, you know, we were talking a bit before this. It felt like a closer game than the score would suggest. But I personally was surprised that Cliff Hodge ended up with 17. We saw him heat up in the Ginebra series. And now here he is doing it against a San Miguel team that is arguably, you know, matchup-wise, you look on paper, might be tougher for Meralco. What do you make of the fact that he's been doing it all here for Meralco?
Well, you know, Cliff is a vet. He's been there, he's done that. And as you saw to start the game, 6 points quick, and it was just all hustle.
Yeah.
He get the defensive rebound, and he's pushing the ball. We know that SMB is a half-court team.
Yeah.
They want to set it up, and they're not very good in transition defense. So if you can beat them down the court, they're very, very big. They got all those bigs. You want to beat them down the court, and that is what Cliff does.
You know, just to emphasize how well he played, he shot 17 points off 53% shooting and ended up with 14 rebounds to go alongside
I mean,
that.
that's crazy. Coach, I want to pick your brains as a coach, right, in the PBA. How important is it for the bench guys, the role players to step up? You'll never know who's going to step up, but for Meralco, it was Raymar Jose that stepped up for them, and it really worked. You wouldn't expect that for the same game from him in the next one, but how important are the bench guys here in a 7-game series, Coach?
Well, just speaking of Meralco, that's huge because if you see, again, we're going back to SMB, they got 2 starting lineups on their team.
Yeah.
Right? So they dig into their bench. They got guys that have been starters on other teams. So it's so important for Meralco to have somebody like a Raymar Jose step up and produce. And I'm not even talking about the points that he scored, 13, 10 in the fourth. I'm talking about the activity, the energy, the physical play, because you saw Junmar in that second half constantly getting a defensive rebound and pounding the ball. That's frustration right there.
You look at this San Miguel team, and now it's up to them to make the adjustments and going into game number 3. What are the most obvious adjustments that you feel need to be addressed moving on?
For SMB, just put the ball in the basket. They're gonna no.
That's simple.
Hey, real talk. They're gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
They've done it every single conference. They're gonna bring the ball down. They're gonna dump it into Junmar. You got CJ Perez cutting off the weak side, and you got your shooters. They're gonna do the same thing. It's not gonna change. They're just gonna have to make shots. CJ was getting to the basket. He was getting his shots at the basket, 17 attempts. He just needs to do a better job finishing like he did in the first game.
So now let's move on to the other series. It's still ongoing at the moment, Tnt and Magnolia. Right now, 58-52 in favor of the Magnolia Hotshots. And you look at this series in particular, the question was, how are you going to stop a guy like Mikey Williams? Our Pagoy is doing such a great job as well. In fact, these two were 2 players to watch out for that you listed down here for Tnt in this series. How incredible have they been?
I mean, speaking of Mikey Williams, he's fantastic. With 20 plus points in the first game. Just step back jumpers, shooting from Curry range, just phenomenal. And then, you know, Pagoy, he's going to be that consistent presence there offensively and defensively. So if I'm Magnolia, I want to be extra physical, and that's their trademark. Be physical with Mikey Williams. Keep on bumping him, keep on pressuring him. Tire him out.
And those 2 players, they're the number 1 and number 2 scorers for Tnt. So obviously they're gonna get that ball in the bucket. But let's talk about the other team, Magnolia. You want to talk about Calvin Abueva? How important is he to this Magnolia team to get wins in this series?
Oh, Calvin, my guy. He does a little bit of everything on the court. He'll score, he'll get rebounds, offensive rebounds, play defense. But the biggest thing, similar to what Cliff Hodge does, is his energy.
Yeah.
He's that emotional barometer of his team. If he has the energy, the positive energy for his team, he can bring his team so far.
And you know, he's one of those guys that once he steps on the floor, if you're playing against him, you're going to physically feel him. There is no way that you are not going to feel his presence on the floor for better or for worse. Now, let's go back to the other series. You actually highlighted 4 players here. We'll start off with Meralco. We talked about Chris Newsome in the past. We talked about Elaine Maliksi. Those are 2 guys you highlighted. Why them in particular in the series?
Okay, if you look at game 1, Maliksi 2 points.
Yeah.
Right? Shooters shoot. Okay? For him to contribute to his team, it's going to be with putting the ball in the basket. Newsome, he's the court general of that team.
Yeah.
He's not a traditional point guard, but he handles the ball so much and he does a little bit of everything. He'll get you buckets, he'll get you rebounds, he'll get you assists. Game 2, he did all of that. He filled up the stat sheet, 5 assists, got you 9 defensive rebounds, going to the basket, getting buckets. He had that buzzer beater to end the half. I mean, he was just all over the place.
And let's talk about the other team, SMB. We talked about Junmar a bit earlier. I mean, he's on a different level this conference.
Yes.
He's in great shape. And also, CJ
scary.
Perez. Sometimes I think, you know, fans and the followers see CJ Perez as, you know, he's the young and next guy for SMB. But honestly, I think he's the guy now for SMB also, apart from Junmar.
CJ's been the now since he entered the league. This guy is just amazing. You see him on the court. So fast, so strong, finished through contact. Game 2, he wasn't able to do that. Shot a low percentage, I think shot in the 30s. Junmar, you can't stop him. You can only hope that he's going to miss his layups. And what you saw from Meralco with Junmar was they swarmed him.
Yeah.
They hit him. Nothing dirty, just extra physical. We started with Cal Pascual. 0 points, 6 fouls, but ultra physical. Then you have guys coming off the bench, Raymond Almazan, Jose got on him, Hodge got on him, but that low percentage of CJ Perez was so huge in helping Meralco win that game.
You know what? I wish we had more time because I was going to ask you about how important the battle between Chris Newsome and CJ Perez is. Because I think they're just so important. That's a really tough one, how important that is in this series. But we don't have enough time for that because after the break, we'll discuss the future stars of the UP Fighting Maroons and the DLSU Green Archers. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. international scene all the way to the local collegiate stage, the young Gilas squad continue to dominate. Now, still with us to talk more about the two soon-to-be UAAP standouts. Well, actually, one of them, a few of them already are standouts, is Coach Willie Wilson. Coach, of course, we're going to be talking a lot about UP and LaSalle, both teams with players that have figured very well for the Gilas, the youth levels of Gilas, and even the senior levels, and now we're seeing more and more of them. I want to start off with our favorite, LaSalle.
Okay,
because
it's LaSalle.
you forget your.
But I love the maroon suit. Though,
you know
just
what?
To balance it out.
This makes you feel secure, but you
Okay.
shouldn't be. But coach, I want to talk about Kiambao, because Kiambao in general. For Gilas, we've seen him play make, we've seen him do so much with the ball in his hands and the way that he can pass the ball. How do you feel that translates to LaSalle and what we've seen so far in FilOil and what we could expect in the UAP?
Well, I think Kevin, he just unlocks everything that LaSalle wants to do. If you notice, during the latter portion of last season's UAAP, they went into a more continuity type offense.
Yeah.
So he would have opportunities to hold the ball in his hands, and what LaSalle was lacking last season, nothing against Balti and those bigs there, was that big man that can play make on the perimeter, and Kevin gives them that.
And you mentioned Balti. For the fans that probably haven't seen Kiambao, what is his main difference? Talking about Kiambao and Baltazar.
Because I want to emphasize this. During our pre-prod, and we were talking to the writers that helped make this, one of the questions was is Kevin Kiambao a key to why DLSU will make it to the finals next season?
Well, I like that. I like that take right there,
Yeah.
LaSalle going to the finals. And I think that if you look at Balti, where did he do his best work? On the block. Specifically, the right block,
Yeah.
because he's right-hand dominant.
Yeah.
With Kiambao, he's a big that can space the floor. He can shoot the three, but more than that, because Balti can shoot the three, is that he has guard skills on the perimeter.
Yeah.
He can handle the ball, and he can make decisions and get the ball where it needs to be.
So right now, apart from him, you also want to talk about Michael Phillips, especially how he's improved and how he could really impact LaSalle this season. But since we're trying to chase time as well, we have to talk about UP. Of
course.
Do we have to?
Of course, we have to talk about UP.
What do you want to talk about, Jegs?
They have not lost a single game in the preseason, and we have to talk about this team.
Yes,
And
okay.
a guy named Carl Tamayo, coach.
Okay.
I mean, how impressive has he been? He has not rested. Talking about his Gilas stints and now with UP.
He's just carrying over from what he did in the UAP season.
Yeah.
He is phenomenal. He can do everything on the court offensively and defensively. The only hole I see in his game probably would be his perimeter defense. But again, playing in the UAAP, he won't be guarding too many players on the perimeter.
Yeah.
You know, you probably give that to Xavier Lucero. So if you're talking about the big man matchup, you see Phillips matched up with Tamayo.
Yep.
You see Lucero matched up with Kiambao. Now, with regards to Tamayo, man, the three-point shot is there, the post game is there, and the attitude, man. He's considering he's only a rookie, but he's been playing on that international stage. He's just so tough there on the court, and I love it.
It's funny because you look at him, I feel like he looks like a rookie, but he definitely doesn't perform like one. It's crazy.
Not at all.
You wanted to mention a guy who should make a jump for UP, and you actually named the player. Abadiano, why so, and what needs to change?
Okay, so Abadiano, what I saw from him his rookie year, physically he has it all.
Yeah.
Okay, he has a body that's ready to contribute, a defensive skill set that is perfect for Coach Golden's system.
Yes.
The outside shot. If he just develops that outside shot, he's already a point guard. You lose Rivero. I think Cancino is out for the season. There's playing time up for that other guard / wing spot.
Yeah.
And since I look at Abadiano as a bigger guard,
Yeah.
he can fill into that spot, and his defense is just so needed.
And Coach, last one, just a yes or no question. I want to get a hot take from you. Are we gonna see UP and LaSalle in the finals in the UAP? I mean, they're a tough team, both teams.
I think we forgot about Ateneo.
Hey, they still got they got Ange coming back.
Okay.
They got some new
Okay.
guys
Okay,
coming in.
It was just a yes or no question, Coach.
This is a whole new episode altogether. We'll have that some other time, but Coach Willie, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Coach.
anytime.
And thank you guys for joining us. I'm Diego Dario.
And I'm Paulo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.